For 7.3, it says solving quadratic equations by finding square roots. So it says when there is no b term, so when there's basically no middle term, we can solve a quadratic equation by isolating the squared term and taking the square root of both sides. So let me just walk you through how to do this. So first, I set up some steps for you. You're not going to use all the steps every time, okay? But you just read through them each time and see if you need to use them. So for the first one, letter A, to get x squared by itself, do you have to add or subtract anything? Well, there's nothing right here to add or subtract. Can you divide? Well, there's nothing in front of the x squared besides a 1. So what you do is you take the square root of both sides. And when I do that, the exponent 2 and the square root, they cancel out. So you're left with x. And the square root of 4 is 2. But as you can see, it has this symbol right here. This is a plus and minus. We call it plus or minus on your answer. So you're going to actually put both of those in there. And that means that your answer could be 2 or it could be negative 2. And the reason is if I asked you what is 2 squared, that would be 2 times 2, which is 4. So that would work in this problem if I plug the 2 in. If I plug the negative 2 in, it would say negative 2 squared, which is negative 2 times negative 2. And that's positive 4 as well. So really, either answer is a solution to this problem. Okay, let's try another one. So part B, can you add or subtract anything to get x squared by itself? Yes, we can get rid of this 64. So I'm going to add 64. And I get x squared equals 0 plus 64 is 64. Can you divide? Nope, there's nothing in front of x squared to divide by. So I take the square root of both sides, and we get plus or minus 8. So x would be 8 or negative 8. So you can actually write your answer either way. Okay, but in the computer system that we're using for It's Learning, I haven't figured out a way to use this symbol in there. So we're going to write out 8 and negative 8. Now for letter C, I gave you the same equation but written differently. So sometimes you're going to see the equation written like this. And if you see that, I want you to automatically understand that that y equals is the same thing as taking it off and making it equal 0 at the end here. Okay? So this y equals the same thing as equals 0. So if I said solve this, you would need to make that a 0. Okay, now, to solve it, step 1 says, can you add or subtract anything to get x squared by itself? And yes, you can. We can add 49. So we have x squared equals 49. Can you divide? Nope, there's nothing in front of x squared to divide by. So then we take the square root of both sides, because that cancels there, and x equals the square root of 49 is plus or minus 7. And so that would be 7 and negative 7. Okay, letter D. Can we add or subtract something? Yep, we can add the 98. So we would have 4x squared equals 144. Step 2 says, can you divide? Yes, I have a 4 in front of the x squared. So let's divide by 4. So if we divide, we get 36. Last, we square root both sides to get rid of the exponent. And this would be plus or minus 6. So x equals 6 or negative 6. Okay, letter E. We're adding 32 to both sides. We have 2x squared equals 32. Second step, divide. Yeah, we got a 2 in front of x squared, so we can divide by 2. and x squared equals 16. Then we take the square root of both sides, canceling the x squared, or the squared part, and x would equal plus or minus 4. And then letter F, we have that same situation again. So again, you see that y equals, we take it off, we put equals 0 at the end, and then we solve this like a normal two-step problem, but with the exponent. So here, add. So we have 3x squared. 0 plus 75 is 75. We divide by 3. X squared equals 25. We take the square root of both sides, and this would give me plus or minus 5. Okay, so just as a recap, this is solving quadratic equations. It's a quadratic because it has an exponent of 2 by finding square roots. So I kind of italicized this, emphasizing we can solve them when we don't have a b term, and it's called finding square roots.